My name is Jeff.
Let's get nuts. Let's get nuts. Let's get nuts.
Neon nights flash bright and glow. Cyber city skyline low. Lost in shadows where we roam. Here we rock in Squirrel Zone. Neon lights flash bright and glow. Cyber city skyline low. Lost in shadows where we roam. Here we rock in Squirrel Zone. Talking down eclipse and clicks. Now the pause is cyber kicks. Rusted wires mesh and twist. Squirrel Zone won't beam as we rock out in Squirrel Night. See bright in blinding light. Future's here, technology tight. Rocking hard till morning light. Stuck inside the night alive. We survived the cyber hive. Outcast and electric vibe. In these
Let's get nuts.
Ass fact. Nail's real. Bitch, I'm a big deal. That's right. I'm a power bottom.
Yeah, I just noticed that I was scrolling down because I'm like, wait a minute, did I mute this when Sheila was here? And I did. I muted it here so that I could talk to her on after the stream was over, and you know, not have it leak through to you guys. So, hey, I got it set up. We're good to go. And apparently, I'm peaking pretty hard. So I'm gonna bring me down a little bit. Alrighty. Big love going out to Road Toads and Tiamara. Thank you, guys. I see we still got a little hype train going there. You guys are fucking monsters. Monsters, I tell you. Crazy sons of bitches. I don't have Buddy right by me. Normally I got Buddy right by me. I was going to throw him in your face, but... oh well. I'm looking at everything. Trying to figure out what's giving me notifications. I don't know. Because it's banging in my ears, I know that much. But I didn't think it was coming through to you. If it does on the next one, you're going to have to let me know. So, don't do that. You have to let me know so that I can adjust accordingly. Anywho. Merry Hump Day. How's everybody? Y'all doing good? We'll just have a little loosey-goosey, you know, hey, how you doing? I'm drinking a Sprite right now. I got a coffee on the side, but... Of course it was Brookie. Hi, Brookie. So yeah, we're just going to do a little loosey-goosey here and have a little chitty chat. Just kind of like loosen up before we go diving into the big stuff. It is. Apparently, it's my affiliate anniversary. Or, yeah, affiliate anniversary. Happy affiliate anniversary. Happy affiliate. Yeah, sure. No strawberry lemonade. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, and I was going to say, Toads, you are a VIP. You have been for a while. Anywho. But yeah, right there. Yeah, I heard it right there. Choo-choo and shit. I don't know, Jay's gonna have to let me know. Anywho. You guys doing alright? Having a good week? I hope so. Hope everybody's doing good. Up here in Canada land, kids are back to school this week. So that's interesting. Jaysa being in Britain. Hello. Was having a good week, yeah, until this morning, yeah. Yeah, Jaysa's grade 8. Fucking can't believe that. My God. That's all I gotta say about that. My God. Just too old now. It makes me a little bit nuts. And yeah, the affiliate anniversary. Apparently I've been doing this now for 5 years. That is crazy to think about. That is like insane to think about. We've been doing this little journey for 5 years now. Wow. Gur likes it. He's happy. Gur's happy. Are you happy there, Gur?
I gotta sing the Doom song now!
Alright, you do that. So far a small issue yesterday, but I got a handle. Then cut the grass. Went out and painted the lawn, did you? You want to think about how long I've been doing this? I don't know. I would have to go over to your chat and find out. But were you doing this before the pandemic? Because mine started... yeah, mine was like September... mid-September of 2020. Yeah. Yeah, when everything got locked down and Screeches in Poet. There you go. To be beat by 6 months, so crazy. Still, like 4.5 years, still. That is crazy to ponder, right? Think about like the communities that we have made and all of the ups and downs and, you know, all of the insanity going on in the world and the baby streamer. I mean, okay, comparatively. Stuck with it this long. I know, right? Right? Yeah, how the fuck has it been 5 years? That's crazy. Yeah, but Jay, if you think about it, you're at 3 years. So, like, you know, baby streamer? I don't know so much about that. That'd be Dan, maybe, if anything. Because, you know, Dan's got to be the baby. I know, right? And think about, like, all of the goofy shit we've done and then all the goofy merch and shit we've made, and wow, just crazy. And then me to think where I am for the 2-year ban, yeah. And me to think where I am now and talking to you guys about stuff like we're going to talk about today. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot to take in. Just fucking crazy. Yeah, so if anybody did not notice, I did put a little trigger warning at the beginning of this stream. If you didn't notice, you can look down and see it on the title. Trigger warning on this one. Today we are going to be talking about... Round up, maybe do the after here. Fair enough. Fair enough. But yeah, today we are going to talk about ADHD, autism, and anxiety. Which, those things are not, you know, they're not exclusive. There are other things that fold into the mix of it with them, but yeah, fuck that trio, right? Yeah, that's not the happiest trio. So just to kind of give you a bit of an outline. Hey, thank you. Just kind of to give you a bit of a framework. Move to the PC. We'll be talking about some of the stats, some of the basics, like, you know, what it is and yada yada. Some of the things that are included in it. Yeah, dude, this is a lot. I wrote a lot down. We're gonna get around to, somebody said your name? Brookie. Brookie with a certain set of skills. Anyway, we're gonna talk about the neurodivergent twist, and eventually we will get to some coping strategies, some personal tools, sharing some experiences. Yeah, I don't want... I will now. Hey, Rookie. Yeah. You know, I don't want it to... Yeah, talking about anxiety makes me anxious, right? I don't want it to be one of those canned things where, you know, this is anxiety. This is what you do about it. Okay, have a glass of water and fuck off. You know, we don't want that. Obviously, as somebody who does go through it from time to time, I'm going to be talking about some of my experiences. My wife has given me permission to talk about some of her experiences because my wife is highly anxious, very, very high anxiety levels. So, what I was getting at. Yep. Welcome to it. Welcome to it. Gur, what do you think?
I gotta sing the doom song now.
You don't always need to sing the damn doom song. The flashback earlier, so I got enough mental health slices for the day. All right, well, too bad. Oh boy. I think I'll just be here in spirit then, which is fine. Like I said, there's a big trigger warning on this one. I'm going to be talking about some of my experiences. I'm sure some of you may or may not want to talk about some of your experiences. If this is going to be too much to handle, I get it. Today's stream is going to be raw and personal. We're going to be talking about anxiety, panic attacks, spirals, the whole ugly mess. If that is too heavy for you, please mute or dip out or take breaks. Remember that you are safe here even if you need to step away. Thank you. It's gotta happen. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all my non-binary neurodivergent squirrels, we would like to welcome to the stadium, Dragon Suck My Dick Heart! Yeah. There is our little happiness. But again, like I said, you are safe here even if you need to step away. This is a safe place. It always is, always has been, always will be. So if it's too much for you, no shame. It's not going to hurt my feelings if you got a dip. Okay. All cool? Everybody cool with that? Here's me hoping so. Difference between ASD, meltdowns, panic attacks from anxiety, because yeah, we thought Alex was having a meltdown, but no, anxiety was having fun as well. Yeah, it'll do that. It will absolutely do that. All right, let's do the technical shit first and get that out of the way. Okay. Definition, clinical and the human definitions. According to the DSM, anxiety disorders are excessive fear and plus anxiety, often tied to avoidance, which, yeah, no shit. No, that's, thank you, Jay, for pointing that out. Yeah, this is a safe place, not from call-outs, though. Sorry, not sorry. The human definition of anxiety, it's like having a smoke alarm in your brain that goes off when you make a phone call, except you can't rip the batteries out. Yeah? That makes sense? Hello, baby. How was your day? Excellent. That is a good question. I don't know, baby. Text your mother and ask her. Okay? All right. What was I saying? Oh yeah, think of it like your brain thinks that the world is on fire, but spoiler alert, you're just in Walmart. That's kind of the more human definition. Authenticata, how you doing? Let's see here. Let's get to some stats. Lifetime prevalence of anxiety in the general populace is between 14 and 18%, and guess you're right, Walmart absolutely is anxiety. ADHD people that have comorbidity with anxiety is about 50%. With autism, anxiety is basically a given for many. Masking and sensory overloads equals rocket fuel in the brain. So it was hard for me to track down an actual statistical number because they varied so much. But ballpark was somewhere around the 70% range. Anyway. Okay, talking about the actual clinical shit for a couple of minutes here. Was you given a running start? Yep. Let's see here. Generalized anxiety disorder. That's the one that my wife has. Clinically, it's excessive worry about multiple domains, hard to control. I'm not well, but I hang for a bit. All right. Kata, if you didn't hear, I'm trigger warning today's stream because we're talking about anxiety. It may get raw and personal. If you can't handle that, no hate. If you got a dip, I understand, because it's going to be a heavy topic. That's you? General anxiety right there? Yeah. My wife has got that one. Let me see. Your brain becomes a 24/7 worst case scenario writer's room. You don't get to turn it off. That's basically what generalized anxiety is. And I, living with my wife for 24 years now. 24 years. That pretty much sums it up. She is very much, if you've ever, Shust could probably attest to this one. If you've ever met my wife, she is very deep into the hyperactivity part of ADHD with anxiety on top of it. So she's normally very buzz, that kind of brain that doesn't really stop. How many of you, okay, how many here have been diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, very Energizer Bunny. Mithra has, Shust has. I mean, if you want to compare apples to donuts, yeah, I did. Fair. It's probably not. And yes, she very much is. Yeah, she really is. Roxy!
Let's get nuts.
Me cooking, sorry. Don't be sorry cooking, just go cook. You have GAD, but it's probably the undiagnosed. I mean, it very well could be. Were you diagnosed with general anxiety? There's the bing. Okay, yeah, so you are hearing it. Okay, I've got to figure out where the fuck that's coming through. Just give me like 1 second here. Okay, that's coming through on browser. I wonder if it's coming through on the desktop audio. Shut that off. You are a GAD girly. Fair enough. All right, so I've got this little tiny fucking bug flying around in front of me here. I don't know where he came from. Among many others. That's right. A lot of the letters, right? A lot of us have got a fistful of the letters that come with this stuff. So with that question out of the way, how many of you, if you see your phone ring and it's somebody calling for overdue bills, do you go into absolute dread before answering, or even if you do answer? That's a feeling of generalized anxiety right there, is that anxious feeling. All right, dude. Much love to the wifey. Voicemail, Illinois. Yep. Yeah, that is very much a very common feeling. I just don't answer the phone. Fair enough. But I mean, still, even if you don't answer the phone, you still got that spike in your system, right? That anxiety spike that jumps up and goes, ah. Make it fuck all the way off. Yep. All right. Panic disorder. We'll talk about that. Clinical. You still get voice calls? The clinical definition: recurrent unexpected panic attacks plus fear of future ones. Symptoms include pounding heart, chest pain, shortness of breath. It's like your body decides to hit the self-destruct button in the middle of Walmart and your brain screaming heart attack while your doctor says, nah, that's just anxiety. Sound familiar? For me, let me see. I am not diagnosed with a panic disorder. Your kid, yeah. I can give you one example that I personally had, and that was, this was years back, and I won't do it anymore, but a friend of mine wanted to go Boxing Day shopping. And I thought, hey, what the hell, why not? This could be fun. So I went along, and right in the middle of the mall, I went tunnel vision, my heart started racing, right? And you know, I could feel like beads of sweat starting, and it hit me like a wave. It is a nice box, thank you. I've been working out. But yeah, so suffice it to say, I will absolutely never go shopping, go Boxing Day shopping in the mall ever again. Does anybody have an example, a short example they want to share? No, I have not. Actually, it's funny you say that. That was a talking point with the doctor today. But yeah, panic disorders can absolutely suck. Your wife is short, yeah. Thank you. We all knew that. Anyway, panic disorders, yes, they absolutely suck. They are not something that that's a lot of fun to go with. Number of times used fun out in Walmart, yeah. Panic attacks. Yep. Last week, Jay was around for the aftermath. Oh boy. Yeah, they're definitely not fun. True story. I believed him. All right, let's move on to a couple more here. Agoraphobia. Is anybody familiar with agoraphobia? You don't go into Buc-ee's? That's fair. Micro attacks? Yeah, I think they count. You get that one now? What's that? Panic attacks, or you get agoraphobia? I wouldn't say that I all the way have it, but I mean, I certainly feel it before I have to go anywhere. That's okay. Self-imposed, yeah. If you don't know what it is, agoraphobia is the fear or avoidance of places where escape feels difficult. Public transport, the malls, large crowds. People with extreme agoraphobia won't leave their house or are very, very reluctant to. Yeah, so there's that. So if anybody does suffer from that, remember, it is not laziness. It is the fear of panic happening in public with no exit plan. Panic after a day or two now, yo. You panic after a day or two in the house? Like stuck in the house? Isn't that the opposite of agoraphobia? Yeah, it's... Oh, if I have to leave. I get it. Yeah, it is not something that's fun either. And like I said, I don't have it extremely, right, the unfeeling part. But I mean, I do relate to it. You know, it's a bit of the social anxiety that I've got, and it's, yeah, not a good time. Nesting syndrome, I have heard of it, yep. And speaking of, let me see here. You get it in waves? That's fair. Speaking of social anxiety disorder, that's the next one on the list, or social phobia. It's also known as. It's an intense fear of being judged, humiliated, or rejected, is one of the clinical definitions of it. And yeah, it's a shit thing to have. It also kind of goes hand in hand with the agoraphobia and the panic attacks, and you know, you can see how all of these things kind of can interlink. Again, it's going to vary from person to person, but if this hits you right in the feels all the fucking time, yeah, it's not. I warned you. Social anxiety disorder is not shyness. I've heard it be mistaken for somebody they're just shy, right? They don't want to come out because they're just shy. It's not shyness. It's being convinced that everybody at the party has a clipboard and is rating your every move. is one definition that I could list off, or one feeling that I get about it. It's that feeling that everybody out there is judging you or staring at you, or that, all of that. If you can add to that list, please go ahead. But yeah, it's that social anxiety can be kind of a bitch. I tend to couple it a little bit with stage fright. And more social anxiety with those I know in a group of strangers is fine. I tend to agree with that, Jay. More often than not, I'll agree with that. But let me share this little story here. As most of you know, I have been a performer for the majority of my life. I had a 20-plus year-long career as a club DJ, club manager, yada yada, rave DJ, played the after hours, all of that stuff. Bookings out of town. I've headlined some events. I have opened some events. I'm not stomach flipping. Yeah, because those are the people that are the most that tend to be the most judgmental, or at least in your brain, it feels like those are the people that are the most judgmental of you. And for some reason, you care more about their opinion than you do random Joe Blow at Buc-ee's. And thanks, Sume. Anyway, yeah, I have been a performer for the majority of my life, so I've been in the entertainment industry, and before every event, be it just a Wednesday night in the club, before every event, I would get that feeling of stage fright. Even though I'd been doing this for 20 years. I still get that feeling every time. I still kind of get that feeling before every stream, is a little bit of that stage fright, that social anxiety, right? Because most of us don't want to be perceived. And this is a case where you are beyond perceived. You are the event. You are the limelight, right? So, my fellow streamers, does that sound familiar? Can you relate to that feeling? Used to be heavily medicated on 1,000 or so milligrams of Seagrams. Seagrams, huh? You get it off and on? Dan says, no. I'll take that as sarcasm. Jay, hells to the yes, yeah. Did you also, Jay, when you were doing club nights, did you also get that stage fright feeling before every night? I always said to myself, years and years ago, oh, Sume, you came to the wrong place. I want you to look down at the stream title. But did you get that feeling before every event? Not one of the reasons I quit streaming, not at all. But yeah, I would, come on, brain, where was I going? Right, yeah, what I would tell myself, back when I was doing the club stuff, that if you didn't feel, and this was my personal take, okay, so I would tell people that I was training this, and, if stream don't matter what day it is, yeah, I would tell a lot of people that if the day that I stopped getting that stage fright feeling before I went up and played the decks, if I stopped getting that feeling, that was it, time to retire. Shut up an hour and proceeded to pound liquid courage. Yep. And hi, Gothic. Hello, Gothic from YouTube. I see you over there. 5th grade talent show. I had a comedy routine. Once I got on the stage, I forgot it. And well, the pants got wet. Just to make you feel better and not alone, I was in grade 7. we had a talent show as well. Or no, it was an air band, lip syncing and all that shit. And I can't remember what the song was now, but I did it, and I was up on stage, and there was something I did. I was wearing pajamas because the routine was like laying in bed and getting up from bed or whatever it was. But I remember I split the crotch of my pants on the stage somehow, and everybody saw it. So yeah, there was that. That was a thing. That was absolutely a thing. Yeah. I was watching a video about volcanoes. Volcanoes are awesome. So yeah, toads, I hope that makes you feel not so alone. It's happened to me too. It has happened to me too. But yeah, social anxiety, stage fright. I get that still to this day. Every time I go to stream, every time I need to go out somewhere, every time we have a get together, I get that feeling. So if you do too, you are not alone. Those obviously are not the only ones. There are specific phobias. Intense fear of specific objects or situations. Things like spiders or flying or needles or phone calls or whatever, right? And the thing is, like, the phobias, they may be illogical to some people, but phobias do not give a shit about logic. You know, the spider isn't plotting murder, but your nervous system disagrees when you see it, right? I was talking about anxiety, me having a panic attack because I can't find a spoon I need for dinner. Well, that's just called the tism. You got the tism pox. I hate to be the one to break it to you. But yeah, there are people that do have, they're afraid of phone calls, right? My wife kind of leans that way. If it's not somebody she knows, she absolutely will not pick up the phone, right? So if my phone's ever dead when I'm out and I have to call her from another number, she's not answering the call because she won't recognize the number. So, but yeah, there are very specific phobias that people have. Spider ain't plotting murder, that bitch was fun. There you go. Well, like I said, your nervous system disagrees, right? Separation anxiety disorder. And not just in kids, not just in pets, in adults too. Clinical definition: excessive fear of being away from attachment figures. More or less. Most people think that it's just kids crying at the daycare, but adults get it too. Fear of losing people, fear something bad will happen while you're gone, etc., etc. All right. Here's the part where we're going to start to peel back some layers. Abandonment, yeah. Yeah, abandonment absolutely ties in with that. Fear of abandonment. Being alone with kiddo without panda. Yeah, that makes sense. It can also tie in with a very special thing that primarily we autistics deal with, but I know ADHDers also do. And that is rumination. You have bad dreams like that sometimes? Yeah. It's either that or I create entire worlds in my head where the opposite has happened. But yeah, it can tie into rumination, which is an absolute fucking nightmare. Need a definition on the word? Rumination is basically, and I don't have anything written down for this, so this is off the top of my head. Rumination, if you think about it, it is sitting and dwelling over a long past event, the outcomes, the woulda, coulda, shoulda, right? The the long-lasting effects it has on you, shit like that, right? Basically, sitting and reliving a moment or a scenario or whatever from a long time back and just dwelling in it and having difficulty escaping that. This is something that I recently went through. Yeah, sorry, Jay. It's trauma-based, and that's fair. I recently had a very strong period of that. Those of you who know me the closest will know about that. But, yeah, sucka. Pretty much 24/7, and yeah. But I had a very, very strong one back in May, and it lasted, and honestly, it's still kind of lasting. I mean, I feel like I'm at the ass end of it. But this one lasted months, and it hit hard. It affected me so badly that there were times that it didn't matter what time of day it was, it didn't matter what I was doing. I was stuck somehow in that thought, and I could not get out of it. This abandonment issues have their own legs. And the thing is, like, abandonment can tie into rumination. You can absolutely sit and ruminate over a separation and over an abandonment from separation. Does that make sense, those words? I'm sure you guys know what I mean. Stream number 4 of what the fuck? So are you saying this is 4 in a row where I've kicked your ass? Yeah? But yes, that was something that I still am dealing with the effects of it, right? I have a very, very hard time with ruminating over specific events, right? There are a handful, I don't know, a half dozen-ish events that I will catch myself getting caught ruminating. And yeah, I don't mind the call out for holy shit. I've been in it for days, weeks, months. Yeah, this last one, like I said, it started in May. And it is still ongoing. I'm still trying to get out of it. It's not near as bad as it was, but it's still pretty bad. I want to get to one last point before we have our first of, I'm sure, many self-care breaks. Last point that I wrote down is selective mutism. This is also one that I struggle with. You also may know it as going nonverbal. Clinical definition: consistent failure to speak in specific situations despite the ability to speak. When you are overloaded, you become absolutely overwhelmed. Your brain can basically shut down your speaking. Even though you can talk, I can talk. I could talk up a fucking storm. You guys are listening to me do it. But there are times when I get so overloaded that I cannot speak. It is technically called selective mutism. Many in the community know of it as going nonverbal. Not to be confused with actual nonverbal autistics, right? Autistic people that do not have the ability to speak. It's called selective, even though we don't fucking select it. Anyway, imagine your throat locking up when your brain says, just say hi. It's not being rude, it's anxiety slamming on the mute button. Brain shuts down, speaking with flashbacks. Yep. It is more common in kids, but autistic adults sometimes will still experience it under high stress. And it is not fun. I know a handful of you in here that go through it, that I've seen you go through it. You've seen me go through it. People aren't really understanding of it. I've heard it all, yeah. That's when I kind of go quiet and raspy and think to myself, what the fuck? I mean, it very well could be, Jay. Now remember, when I say autistic adults, I don't mean just autistic adults. It can happen to ADHDers. It can happen to people with BPD, bipolars, etc., etc. So, anyway, there you go. There is, but I have a format. You have Schust's permission card. Is that what it is? Anyway, so there is the definitions of some of them. I shared some of my experiences with the ones that do kick me in the nuts the hardest. And some of you have as well. A form of selective mutism. Yep. And again, it's not just exclusive to one category of neurodivergence, right? That shit spreads all over. It always tends to. But, you know, again, you're not alone, my friends. Definitely not alone. And remember, it's not a case of being rude. It's not a case of not wanting to talk. It's not being able to talk, right? What we have done in our house here, actually Jasa is the first to pick it up when I do it, when it happens to me. She's the first one to pick it up, and she will kind of be my interpreter, and it is fucking adorable, and I love her so much for it. But yeah, she will be the first one to pick it up, because, you know, Tism likes Tism. Anyway, we are going to take ourselves a little self-care break, and then afterwards, we're going to get to the neurodivergent twist of anxiety. I live the naked life. Yeah, sure you do. I am sure you do. Survey says...
Knock, knock. Who's there? Go fuck your face.
That's the one. Anyway, let's do it. Go grab yourself some water, a Kleenex if you need to. Get up, stand up, have a stretch, grab yourself a snack. We will be back.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Okie dokie. And then on to the neurodivergent twist. Alrighty. Boom, 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 boom. Look at all that shit. Fill the cup and blow it up. Hot diggity fucking damn there, Will. My God. Welcome to today's... I don't have to be in trouble in the foreseeable future. Yay! Well, you showed up on a trigger-warned stream today. We're talking about our wonderful spicy brains and anxiety. For the first hour, we basically went over the clinical definition of different kinds of anxiety. I shared some of my experiences with it. Some others kind of shared theirs. Now we're going to kind of get into giving us all anxiety about our anxiety. Yep. Sorry about that. No, I'm not. But just super quick recap. We went over the different types, many of the different types, and those are not the only ones. Those are just a majority of them. Generalized anxiety, panic disorder, agoraphobia, social anxiety, aka social phobia, which is a big one that I have. Some of the specific phobias that people can have: separation anxiety, and in adults too, as well as selective mutism, aka going nonverbal. I'm going to share one more little anxiety story with you guys, if that's okay. I hope you don't mind. But maybe to make you guys feel a little less attacked, more like I've got the baby gloves on. And that is the incredible amount of anxiety that I feel. I feel like I have put, I've done this to myself. I have put a shitload of pressure on myself. I have a fucking ton of anxiety over this because of what I am trying to do going forward a little bit. And that is with the coaching stuff. Even doing a stream like this, right? Because I've always been very fact-based. Everything has to be, I don't need to be right, I need to be correct, right? So, that being said, I am absolutely terrified of missing a step, of getting something wrong, of even putting together the list that I've got here. Ever thrown a set of work boots in the dryer? Yes, Jay. My God. Thankfully, I've never had to dry my work boots, but I've heard other people that had to. Hi, V. Anyway, but even putting together this list, right, gave me incredible fucking anxiety. Because here's me thinking, what if I miss something? What if I am wrong somewhere in my research and hunting down information and what I'm taking out of the DSM and the ICD, right? And all of these notes and shit. What if I get something wrong? What if me getting something wrong causes somebody else to, to use my bad information, basically. And it either not work and it harms them somehow, right? That's a terrible, terrible fear, a terrible anxiety that I have. And I've always had it, especially recently with, the social media thing. What if the information I'm given is wrong? It is a constant fear I have, a constant anxiety that I've got. And yeah, even, like I said, even putting the notes together for this, you'll do fine. I'm hoping so. But of course, your brain doesn't, the anxiety in your brain doesn't give a fuck about logic. Logically, I know that I'm sure that I will be fine, right? Logically, I know that I have all of this information to earn those 2 certificates. But, not only that, I've been basically doing it for 5 years. Logically, I know all of this. Emotionally, the anxiety just grips and, will not let go. So, there's me sharing another little personal story with you guys. That way you know that, hey, every time we do a stream, I'm anxious as fuck. Committing 100% to something is difficult, so hard to get anxiety. Just thinking about the commitment for some reason. Sharing my knowledge is easier than allowing myself to have the teacher label. I mean, maybe it is just a label, right? Maybe it is the label. Because I've never been one to actually take on that kind of a label. I never thought about it, right? As you know, I was talking with Sheila last on Sunday, right? You guys are here for that. I even said then that, you know, like, she is, in my mind, she's a coach. In my mind, I am not. Like me, I am the darkness. There you go. Sunshine is B. Tramp ass. Tramp ass works, I guess. Anywho, let us get into some of the neurodivergent twists when it comes to anxiety. And here are some examples. So if you feel incredibly called out in this section, again, sorry, not sorry. You know what you signed up for. ADHD people, my fellow spicy-brained ADHDers. I'm giving you a scenario. Picture this. You miss a deadline in doing something important. Ah, Jewel. Yeah, puts on a helmet. You miss a deadline. And yeah, Gerbil in his sunshine. My ass hides in the basement. Alright, stop reading. You miss a deadline. The anxiety kicks in. The avoidance kicks in. Right? You're already anxious about missing that one deadline. So now you're going to be avoiding. This can lead to more missed deadlines, right? This is just one example. Basically, your brain turns molehills into mountains and then mocks you for tripping over the molehills. That's what it feels like, that kind of anxiety. And again, that's just one example. I'm sure each one of you can give me an equal or better example, right? But again, this one here, you miss a deadline, the anxiety kicks in, which makes you not want to go back and touch anything. You have avoidance kick in, therefore you end up missing more deadlines. That has happened to me my whole time in elementary and high school. There you go. So I'm improvising. But yeah, like I said, I'm not the only one, and that's just one example. I can't do it right, so fuck it, I'm not doing anything. There you go. Back in my cave, never come out again if that happens to me. And you know what? That's a relatable feeling. That's the avoidance, right? That's where your anxiety kicks in, the avoidance. If I can't do it right, fuck it. The whole project is a failure. Yep.
Drink your water. Unclench your jaw.
There you go, Jewel.
Take your meds.
To the bottom.
Something yummy, motherfucker.
All right, now on to the coffee that I made myself. But yeah, well, that pretty much sums. I can't even point to you. That pretty much sums it up, right? Combining with what you and Jay said, you know, I can't do it right. Fuck it, I'm not gonna do it at all. And if I make one little boo-boo in it, the whole thing's a failure. So to hell with it. Anxiety causing the avoidance. One example for autistics, and how masking equals survival mode, essentially, which tends to give us a sense of constant vigilance to hold up that mask, which gives us chronic fucking anxiety. Fellow autistics, am I wrong? Basically, while you're masking, if you get a sense of sensory overload, it's like your fight or flight switch is just jammed on fight. Say that again for the old people. How masking is essentially survival mode for those of us that have to, you know, do it a lot in public. Masking is your survival mode, which you have a constant vigilance to try and keep this mask up to make sure that nobody else can see through it, which gives you a sense of chronic anxiety because of it. And as Gothic pointed out, chronic exhaustion from it. There you go. Okay. See, polar bear mama went straight into avoidance right there. Just saying. And for those of us that have both and are combined, yay. ADHD forgets, anxiety panics, autism masked. Congratulations, you've unlocked existential dread speedrun mode. Does that sound familiar for my fellow meerkats? Your ADHD forgets, the anxiety the anxiety panics, and the autism tries to mask it. I've never unmasked in my life. There you go. Ha ha ha. So, if you've had that feeling before, sorry, not. I love that cup. These cups are awesome, by the way, these tumblers. Exclamation merch, grab yourself one. Don't call me out so hard. You forget what the fuck you are. Did you not read the title of today's stream? I make no apologies today, ma'am. Zero. For the 18 masks every day is fucking exhausting at the best of times. Yep. No, I'm just here. Well, I mean, if you're here, you're gonna get called out. It needs to be stable. Uh-huh. Exactly. Calling you out while you're sick. I gave you guys the speech at the beginning. If it's too much and you need to dip, I still love you. But she's getting raw and real today. Why call me out hard for overdoing it? You mental calls. Y'all motherfuckers act like you're surprised. Gosh. Anyway. Okay, so let's get to some coping strategies. And yes, we're gonna go there. I know I said I did not want to be that canned, anxiety bullshit, but these are ones that we have used in the Discord on other people, and they work. They generally work. Coping is hiding. Hiding is coping. Negative. That is avoidance. Grab your inflatable donuts, yeah. Coping via books. What am I gonna say to that, Dragon? What is that? Avoidance. Yep. Almost got it. That is 100% avoidance. That is your anxiety pulling you out of whatever it is that you have to deal with or are supposed to deal with, and you're burying yourself somewhere else. You are avoiding the issue at hand and burying yourself in books, in games, in drawing, in going to the gym. All of these things, they can be used as an avoidance. Some are healthier than others. Burn the world down, not avoidance. Arson, destruction. A is for arson. Yep, it is absolutely technically an unhealthy coping mechanism. So let me tell you about some that are a little bit healthier. Ungodly amounts of caffeine. Hey, once upon a time for me, it was ungodly amounts of alcohol. I won't deny it. There were many, many years where that was a part of my cope. Because I was in a situation where I thought that being an adult, while I was working in the club, I thought it can, but Melty, it's also problematic, right? I was in a situation where I thought being an adult was drinking, fucking, and that's it, right? Because that's what I grew up with, right? My mom was a hardcore alcoholic to her last day. So of course I worked in the clubs. I followed in Mummy's footsteps, essentially. I could fucking outdrink just about anybody. So yeah, I thought the drinking thing was just constant. I thought it was part of, that's how you adult. You go out, you get drunk. And then, of course, working in the clubs, people go to the clubs for what reasons? They go there to dance, to drink, and to fuck. I thought that was life. I thought that was adulthood. And the amount of masking, I did make that experience, yeah. The amount of masking that I had to do to keep myself in that situation, because I thought that was the situation I needed to be in. By the time I figured out that that is not what being an adult is, that having to be in that situation is not what an adult is, and the amount of unmasking that I unconsciously did after I got out of the clubs is crazy. Is fucking crazy. Be a great adhesive for masking? Yeah, it can be. Or it can be completely counterproductive. I find there's usually not much of a gray area. I don't get adult properly. I'm just about 50 and I can't adult properly. Yeah, I know, that one's a shared experience, Jay. But true story, Turtle Mama. I'm going to be 49 years old next month. I can't adult properly. I cope with this associate. Yep. Coming in secretary of home care. Some hope to face alone. 46 and don't adult properly. There you go. You guys are still going. Not coping, an involuntary response. Yeah, it absolutely can be. Right? When you get into the avoidance becoming second nature, then yeah, it totally can be. But I digress. Let's get into some of the coping strategies that do help. These ones are evidence-based, clinical evidence-based ones. What is adulting properly? When you find out, I'll expect a report on my desk. Okay? Anywho. Evidence-based clinical coping strategies. Some of these we use in the Discord. Some of you have seen us use them on other people when they are freaking out. And actually, we do have some triggers some command triggers in the Discord to activate some of these. Yeah. The first one, grounding, is the sensory method. Box breathing. Counting down from 5. Notepad out. I will feel called out. There you go. Right, and I don't remember exactly. You guys can help me with this one. You know, what are 5 things you can see? What are 4 things you can hear? What are 3 things you can feel? What are 2 things you can touch? What is 1 thing you can taste? Something like that, basically, but it's activating your sensory. It's grounding you through your other senses while doing box breathing, right? While counting, taking in a deep breath, and I think holding it for 4 seconds, letting it out for 4 seconds, something like that. Again, if I'm wrong, somebody please correct me here. Used to have it in my notepad. Oh, what the trigger for that? I used to make 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 cards for my friends' wallets. There you go, right? But these are evidence-based clinical techniques, right? For grounding, for coping strategies. You're in the panic room all the time. That's right, Jay. You are a fucking rock star in the panic room. Another clinical one is CBT, challenge catastrophic thoughts. It's cognitive behavior therapy, essentially. Well, exactly what it is. Where you're challenging your catastrophic thoughts. Is Walmart really the apocalypse? Is it really going to be the end of the world if I go there? You are directly challenging that thought. Making yourself think more on it. And the answer is yes. That's right. The answer is yes. But at least you're doing that. Yes, the X works. It depends on the Walmart. All right. Apparently, I wrote down a shit example. Fond memories. Control. You can see that. Yeah, that's a really good one. Another one is, and this is clinical. Again, these will work better for some people and not so much for others. This one here doesn't tend to work very much for me. But maybe if somebody threw me right into it, maybe it would, and I would be wrong. Yeah. No, that's very cool, Jay. Yeah, fond memories and where you're comfortable. That's a really good one. Anyway, this is clinical, is exposure. Slow, safe, practiced, in feared situations, going with somebody you trust. Again, we're going to use Walmart for the example. But exposing yourself to it. Exposure is wild. It can be. It absolutely can be. Depending on the situation. Because slow is my default movement speed. I think that's why, Jay. You can avoid Walmart if you don't. Yeah, that's true. I don't do anything slow. I have MS, so I move slow a lot. But yes, so those were evidence-based, clinical fucking coping strategies. The counting down, grounding, and box breathing. The cognitive behavior therapy of challenging the catastrophic thoughts. Running straight to the brick wall, sure. And slow and safe exposure. Other ones for all of us, our neurodivergent fam. And again, this is going to be person to person. But here are some neurodivergent friendly ones. One is noise canceling headphones or loops or whatever works for you in that situation, right? They can be noise canceling digital, or they could be, you know, the earmuffs that construction workers use on site, right? Those kind of noise canceling. But that is one suggestion. Sunglasses in stores so that the lights aren't so bright and overwhelm you. Fidgets and stim toys is another good one. Routines that reduce decision fatigue. Headphones are my best friends. Here's a pink pony girl. Using the loops at a parade this weekend. All right. Nice. Music's always out. Yep. Playlist for everything. Yes. Generally, I do too. Being deaf, those are answers. I mean, okay, fair enough. Again, like I said, it's gonna vary from person to person. If you're already deaf, like Mama, like me, who's mostly deaf, and scripts for phone calls specifically. Most deaf, yeah. Something you can write down. Here's a really shitty example. Hi, yes, I know I owe you money. Please stop sounding like Voldemort when you're calling me. I know, shitty example, but hopefully it made you smile. Personal tools. We did mention music. In my case, you know, active corrosion isn't just music. It's me screaming into the void until the void backs out. Or backs off, rather. And another one is community. Is another personal tool that I use. Community. Streaming with all of you here. Discord. The Twitch chat. When people who get it are here. And my brain's like, oh, maybe we're not dying after all. We're just going through all of this shit together. They're gonna lose their shit on me. I mean, that's fair. Twisted Sister, Rob Zombie. There you go. Can't do the online thing, use the app. There you go. Thanks, Dragon. Does anybody have any other personal tools that they use in an anxiety-based situation? Love to hear them. My big ones are music and community. Always. Always, always. I'm dying, just gonna scream Pink Pony Girl. I mean, whatever's gonna work for you. Of course I missed everything. That's alright, the VOD will be there. Actually, if you really want, because the VODs tend to disappear after 2 weeks on Twitch, this is still going to be on YouTube. So there you go. Sour candy. That's I have heard that before. That's an interesting one. Sour candy is a personal tool. Yeah, I've heard that before. Not everything. We're still here. Yeah. That being said, I am going to be wrapping it up. So, but I'll give you a very quick recap here. Textures like soft blankets. That's a good one. Treat goal at the end, even if it's just flavored water to get through Costco hell. Grab a cookie on the way out for making it through. There you go. There you go. Walk away, hide, control your breathing, refocus your mind. Once you're under control, go back in. Not sure if it's a good one or just mine. I mean, if that's one that works for you, then fantastic, right? Reading that, it looks similar to. It's just about identical, actually. Walk away, hide, control your breathing, refocus your mind, and once you're under control, go back in. Yeah, I think, yeah, of course it is. Yeah. Yeah, of course it is. We're the same person. So, yes, that's, in a situation like that, yeah, that's what I would do. Restore, I just get what I need and get the fuck out. Yeah, I mean, fair enough. Way to blankets and teddy bears help. There you go. She continues while you take a break. There you go. So that's good. It's good to hear that each of us kind of has our own little strategy, our own little way of dealing with anxiety when it threatens to take you over, essentially. So, for those who are our typical shopping buddies are helpful. Yes, they can be. Remove yourself from the issue, then take a moment. Yeah, similar to what Jay said. Yeah, that's what I do too. So, for those of you that are latecomers today, tisk, tisk. I kid. What did we go over? All right, first we went over some of the different types of anxiety. According to the DSM-5 TR. Tisk, tisk. Yep, that's right. Generalized anxiety disorder, panic disorder, agoraphobia, social anxiety, one of the ones that hits me the hardest. Specific phobias of things like spiders and needles and snakes. Separation anxiety, selective mutism. Then we went and talked about some of the neurodivergent twists that we have to deal with anxiety, such as missing deadlines that causes anxiety, which leads to avoidance, which leads to more missed deadlines, and the never-ending cycle repeats, and it's not a good time. And we just finished talking about some coping strategies, the evidence-based ones, the grounding one, the 5-4-3-2-1 sensory method with the box breathing, CBT, challenging catastrophic thoughts, and exposure. Then to the neurodivergent family part, noise-canceling headphones, sunglasses, fidgets, routines that reduce decision fatigue, scripts for phone calls, shit like that. And then went on, and now we're on personal tools that we use for anxiety. Again, one of mine is music. You know, Jay shared his, which is great. Wife is watching me, she generally knows before I do now. But there you go, right? Having somebody with you that knows what to look for is something that is fantastic, right? Again, like I said, when I start, Jason is the first one to pick it up for me, right? She's the first one that will notice when I'm starting to melt. Watching this on YouTube, and I need reminders. That's all right. It should be the one on YouTube should have the same title. I mask too well. I'm a level 500. Been together for 8 years. He knows when I'm off before I, yeah. Having an anchor, that person that knows your tells. Yep. Yep. Somebody that can pick up on those signs. I've been starting to notice when I'm about to melt down. That's good. Another anxiety tool. It's easy to come up with the worst case scenario. Try to picture the most ridiculous best case scenario. and no, there are 1.5 million outcomes in between. That's right. And Jay, actually, that kind of goes back to the clinically proven challenging the catastrophic thoughts, right? Because that's what you're doing, is you are challenging the catastrophic thoughts that you're having. So instead of having, you know, the example I used there of Walmart being the apocalypse, if you spin it on its head and challenge that thought and turn it into the best case scenario, or an absolutely fucking ridiculous scenario. What happens if I'm going to go into Walmart? I'm going to walk through the front doors and a clown car is going to bust through the doors beside me, and 45 clowns are going to crawl out of that car, and they're going to start dancing around on top of the tills. The staff isn't going to know what to do. There's going to be pandemonium and mayhem, and then finally, when it's all done and cleared out, everybody gets a Snickers bar, right? Turn it into the most ridiculous situation. Until you start wheeling your toes. Yeah. But yeah, that's a great idea, Jay. But, that's right, Walmart is the apocalypse. I agree. But, that's me. I went there the other day in my brand new sexy blue wheelchair. Don't you want a contest? I have free shopping situation. Everything I want for free. They're going to clear out the store so I can do it. Hey, there you go. Again, that is challenging the catastrophic thoughts. You are challenging the thought and giving something new and ridiculous. So there you go, Jay. If that is something you actually do, then you are using something that is an evidence-based, clinical fucking coping strategy. Yeah, exactly. It's just as dumb as mine. You know, come up with something even dumber. Or even better, right? If that's something that you want to do. Masking, you know, feeling to all friends, so you need sunglasses on into your eyes, telling the story. You an actual mask because your face freezes up. I actually do not know what I look like when I start to trigger like that. I have no idea. Same for me. I buy all of these. Another panic room technique. Oh, there you go. Perfect. Avoid holiday shopping. That's the apocalypse. Agreed. I think clown's a horror show for me. That's fair. So I guess I have to ask at this point, how are you guys doing? Was that as bad as you thought it was going to be? Or did you brace yourself well enough to handle the storm? And those of you that are wearing armor, how bad did my callouts chip you? Little hair stroke, a good boy, good girl. Oh, apparently we killed Poet. I'm sorry about that. Dan isn't here right now. I mean, that's kind of fair. Triggered. I'm sorry for that. That was not my intention. Yeah, you only just showed up. Well, for those of you that only just showed up, I don't challenge you, but maybe I just kind of gently nudge you to go and check the video out on YouTube, because it'll be there. You can catch up with the rest. You can watch me in double speed too if you want. Not gonna hit harder is definitely a hiss of feelings. That's fair. Jay's doing an aftercare stream. Perfect. Actually fine, because my health is my main stressor right now. Fair enough. Need to see a blacksmith later. Triggering among safe peeps is not horrible. Well, and Jewel, I don't know if you came in a little later. Words are hard. So you did not hear when I said that, like, for anybody that needed to not be here, right, for this topic, and I get it. I totally get it. Because today's stream got a bit raw and personal, right? I told you guys shit that I generally don't tell a lot of people. So you guys got to hear some behind the scenes exposure shit today. But yeah, as you were saying, Jewel, that everybody is safe here, even if they needed to step away, right? So if shit did hit hard, what's next week again? Depression. I decided to take a couple of weeks and go straight for the jugular, because these ones were requested. And on that note, because these two streams have been requested. So anxiety today, depression next Wednesday. After that, it's open schedule. So if you guys have one that you want us all to go over and talk about and go through on the coaching streams, which are Wednesdays, first grab a cookie. But if you guys have suggestions, in the Discord, in the suggest and discuss category, at the bottom channel is called Coach Corner. It is open for you guys to make suggestions in there. Let me know if there is something that you want me to talk about, to go over with the class. Let me know in that channel. Put it in there. It's called Coach Corner. It is the bottom channel in the suggest and discuss category. You remember to set my alarm next Thursday morning, or now or I'll forget. That's right, aftercare cookies for all. Make me a class clown? Always. I'm gonna be okay though. Got some good bits out of it. Good. And again, the replay is gonna be on YouTube. So yeah, Melty, you absolutely can. Yeah, if you guys don't want to post them in that channel, want to DM them to me, that's fine. My DMs are always open. But I mean, if you got suggestions, use that channel or DM them to me. What was I going to say? I don't know how to calm myself down when I talk because my voice is silent in that old house talking. It's still hard for me, fear of not being heard. Listen to, embrace with suggestions. That's fair. You took yourself out of a shit scenario and you have put yourself into a much better scenario, but you're not used to it yet, right? Especially with the tism that doesn't like change. That's something you got to take into consideration, right? Tism no like change. You put yourself into change. Practice on people. Listen, find your safe people. Let them know how important they are, and get your practice in. Yeah, that's a really good idea there, Heather. So yeah, suggestions. If you guys got them, I want to hear them. If you guys have something you want me to talk about, let me know. Yeah, change is death. I don't know if I'd go that far, but I mean, it's pretty damn close. Off topic, I'm going to share a little bit more information that you guys probably don't need. I don't know why you did that. Yeah, testify, he does. It's true. Which reminds me, hey Jay, how was today? What was I going to say? Oh, yes. So one of the new medications that I'm now on, it is for, what is it for? I can't remember exactly what it's for, but it's one of the new ones I have to take in the morning, every morning, right? One of my 10 pills that I have, or 16, sorry, pills that I have to chow back. It gives me the worst fucking dry mouth. It is just terrible. Right? So, I'm sure you noticed, like, I'm licking my lips a lot now. Like, even I've caught myself doing that. Oh my god. It's just, it's the worst cotton mouth. For those of you that are into gardening, I'm sure you know about that cotton mouth feeling. Yeah, that I've fucking got that. But here, validated, it helps. Jewel, I'm sure your sister has told you, I'm sure you guys have discussed that you're 100% fucking safe here. Emotional support cat will be your own. Big hands above the waist, even. There you go. Next week, Demon is going to need an emotional support demon. I will try. Next week, bring emotional bowl of fruit. Oh, boy. Never-ending doom piles and where to begin. Yeah, Gothic. I've started. I've got a garbage bag over here. Most of the support nymph, okay? Sure. Nymph or nympho? I kid. Are we all safe here? I don't know, Melty. Do I need to answer the question, or can you answer it for yourself? Love my little demons. And all my little squirrelies and every other animal in the forest that we have here. Those of you in the lovely little town of Squirrel Station, and even those of you who are on the outskirts. A joke regarding the anxiety with the depression shit hits hard. Yeah, and I'm gonna open a few doors on myself. Cult of 13 is all about sport, 100%. I actually have all of the notes for next week's stream right here. I wrote them all up. Together. And I'm just going to take a sneak peek. Good, going through a counselor session lately, and I'm healing. I'm okay. Good, I'm glad to hear that. Depression has some serious fucking hands. Yes, it does. Everything start over, but then the autism work. I can relate to that. Okay, yeah, so there is the going over the disorders, our twist, oh fuck me. Okay. I have written down here some, oh boy. There's a section where I actually write down for this topic. I wrote down a section where I was going to share the personal stories. I just looked at the ones that I wrote down, and yeah. So we're going to be basically ripping all the skin off of me. Self-care break in 5 minutes. You know what? We are going to keep going, even though technically the topic is kind of wrapped up. I still have some closing notes that I want to go over, but then we can sit here and chat about your feelings, about the anxieties that you go through. And it's going to need a mental break from the world. I mean, maybe, but. You know what they say. Now, you guys know I don't consider myself a leader per se. I'm just a face. But were I to consider myself that, lead by example. And if I can't, it's the same as laughing at somebody else, right? Making a joke at somebody else. If you can't laugh at yourself first, I don't believe that you have a right to make fun of anybody else. This coming from the guy who is the absolute first to, self-degrade. If I can't open up about some of these things and share them with the class, why would any of you feel enough trust in me to share yours? You know what I mean? You're a good leader. I mean, I don't know about that. Have a horn talking stick. Dirty slut many times. Oh yes, oh yes. Learn to laugh at yourself before you laugh out loud. That's one way to look at it, yeah. I think, you guys know that I think that laughing at yourself is incredibly important. Being able to laugh at yourself, not taking yourself so seriously at times. I understand it's a case-by-case thing, right? There are, hi Moon, I laugh my way through stuff. Yeah, I actually, my wife hates this. I can't remember the name of it, but I will have an awkward laugh in the worst of situations, right? She'll be like raging out and freaking out about something, and I will start laughing, and she fucking hates it. And I don't blame her. I don't blame her at all. But I can't really control it, right? I can't remember the name of it. Halfway through labor. Nice. Yeah, don't take life so seriously. I will getting anxiety about the next stream. How the irony, right? Yeah, I'm giving you guys anxiety with the anxiety stream. All right, there's a 2-minute warning. All right, let's hang out and do a little more chit chat, okay? We will we'll take a couple of minutes to recover from all of this shit and go and get yourself a drink of water, a snack, stand up, have a stretch, go to the bathroom, do what you need to.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
All right, and then we will do some unpacking and a little bit of, what did Jay call it? The sharing circle. That's what we'll do. All right. I found it and I wanted to share with the class. Yeah, it's called pseudobulbar affect, is what it is. A condition that's characterized by episodes of sudden, uncontrollable, and inappropriate laughing or crying. Pseudobulbar affect typically occurs in people with certain neurological conditions. Blink, blink. Or injuries which might affect the way the brain controls emotion. I'm Kirby. Very nice. Welcome back. If you have pseudobulbar affect, you'll be experiencing emotion normally, but sometimes you'll express them in an exaggerated or inappropriate way. Fuck me. Anyway, alright, I found it. So yeah, that's what it is when I have my uncontrollable laughing. Whoopsie. Apparently I paused this stream. Silly mama. Silly mama. I think I do that a lot. Yeah, it's definitely not, you know, something that is just exclusive to, you know, what am I trying to say here? They did say that it is, it's from certain neurological conditions, right? So, blink, blink. Need to turn me up. Okay. The closing notes that I wanted to go over real quick for this entire session, basically. The key takeaway: anxiety does not equal weakness. Remember that. It's a survival system on permanent overdrive. When people tell you to just take a chill pill, or just, you know, have a breath, or, you know, I understand that the breathing part, yeah, it's important, but that shit that's not gonna help, right? Generally, that's not gonna help. Again, take yourself out of the situation, like Jay was saying, take yourself out of the... What am I turning up? What, am I too quiet now? No, I'm not. The body keeps the score. There you go. No laundry only skins? I don't know what in the fuck you're talking about. Trying to hammer through it ends badly. Yes. Yeah. So if you've ever heard that, you know, just put your nose to the grindstone and power through it. That is not the best thing that you can do. So Danky, okay. I didn't understand the context, so I'm like, well, I don't know what you guys are talking about. Running naked. I mean, yeah, you can do that if you want. Who's naked? I'm guessing Dan. For an anesthesiologist, say the body keeps score. It's what for huh? To unstore trauma in the body. Indeed. I know I laugh uncontrollably. I have trouble explaining. No, I know I do, and my wife hates it so much. Right? After 20 years, she understands that I do it, that I can't control it, and she still hates it. You know, because I just do it out of nowhere. I'll start chuckling in the middle of an argument, and I don't mean to. But, you know, here we are. And what does that do? It makes the fucking argument worse. Yeah, it does. Sure does. Yeah. It doesn't make it better, believe me. So, again, key takeaway. Anxiety is not weakness. It's a survival system on permanent overdrive. If you have ever panicked in a Walmart, since we're picking on Walmart today, if you ever panicked in a Walmart, you're not broken. You're just allergic to capitalism. And to be honest, that's a mood. But yeah, there we are. So again, thanks for tuning in to the Anxiety Show. Shut up and go play. Yeah. I swear I don't think it's... I think my brain just hit the wrong button. Brain laughs because the brain short-circuited. Yeah. Yeah. I don't laugh, but apparently I'm... Try it again. Whoop. What did that say? There we go. I smile when it's not appropriate. Ah, gotcha. Gen X put dirt on it, you'll be okay. Uh-huh. Figure out what your triggers are, then figure out how to deal with them. Yeah, being able to recognize what your triggers are, right? And like, who was it? Melty? Was it you? Melty or Heather? I don't remember which one of you it was. One of you guys said that you're getting better at recognizing when you're about to go into a meltdown, right? Recognizing your triggers is a very important first step. So if you can recognize it, and Heather, okay, Heather, I couldn't remember who it was, but if you can recognize it, right, and give yourself that little grace period to, like, again, we're still going to pick on Walmart. If you start to feel it in Walmart, pull yourself the fuck out of that situation, right? Pull yourself out, breathe, get your mind under control, calm yourself, right, as much as you can, and then go back if you can, or if you need to, or whatever. Stockholm much? I mean, I don't need to open my DMs, Jay. I don't think any of us said we were mentally stable. Too funny. I'm so bad at this, but I told myself I was going to do it. If you enjoyed today's little coaching session for free, don't be afraid to tip your DJ, because I have started, I've officially started my coaching biz. It's true. I've officially started my little coaching biz. Current project name is Whole Spectrum, because I'm going to cover the whole fucking spectrum. So yeah, I've officially started the coaching biz. So, hey, if you want to, tip the DJ for a free session, that'd be great. And remember, if any of you guys that are in the community ever need one, I'm half price for all of y'all. Because normally I do $60 an hour. I will do it with you guys for 30. Of course, we'll have our little one-on-one first to make sure that I'm a good fit for you. I mean, if I'm not, you probably wouldn't be here in this stream, but yeah, just saying. Bad money is right. Yeah, because I do appreciate you. It's like I said, Hutchie, if you can, hey, great. If not, I still love you.
I saw a squirrel. He was doing like this.
I'm bad with... How fucking ironic is that? Wow. That was just... We're talking about money, and I'm bad with money pops in. Howdy. You've got a great sense of timing. I just missed out of the weird cross. My wife is in the middle of that, the Zennial thing. Howdy, howdy. Just because they've the environment doesn't mean... Exactly. Exactly. Also am budgeting for Patreon. There you go, right? We have love bats here too? Yes, we do. Yeah, we absolutely do, Melty. We've got the love bats here. Just a regular. Well, I wouldn't push that regular thing too far. So, anybody else wish to share? What's your done tag for years? We gotta ask him. I'm not 100% sure what you mean there, Jay. Funny story about love bats. Yes, I have a feeling that I may know some of what you're gonna say. Anyway, aside from that, does anybody have anything relating to today's class that you wanted to share? or that you wanted to like get off your. Well, I don't know there. Holy? I don't know, the holy generation? Love Bat's help. I'm also scared of love they carry, but go on. Yeah, if you guys had anything that you wanted to share, have at it. Have at it. Now we're gonna do our little sharing circle for a bit and shoot the shit and bring ourselves down from the anxiety. It's like the animal. Oh, the the bats. I'm here to give you love. Mesozoicals. That's a word. Said I missed most of the stream, was napping. That's all right. That's all good, Calico. Like I've been telling everybody else, it's going to be available on YouTube. It'll be on my YouTube channel for those of you that want to catch it. Anyone's anxiety makes them think chicken is bad for you and your family? No. Bats. Nice, Jewel. I love the taco in the back. The taco back here, this is what we call the Posy Taco. Now, this has a story behind it. First, this was drawn by a member of our community, Destroyer, aka Annie Mae. But yeah, the story behind the Posy Taco is I used to have, before the website went defunct, I used to have right up here, it was like automatic captions, right? There is a... There you go. Shout out, giving out to Annie Mae. But there's a redeem that I have on here that was called a positive talk. There you go. This one here. I'll show you actually. We'll see it in action here. But beforehand, it was called a positive talk for demonstration purposes. That's right. So we shortened it to Posy Talk, right? It's just easier to say. It rolls off the tongue better. Positive talk, Posy Talk. Well, one day, the automatic captions misheard me and said Posy Taco. And it was never the same ever since. So Annie Mae, she drew this up, and that is the redeem now, is the Posy Taco. So speaking of anxiety, because that was today's topic, and somebody just, I don't know who it was, I don't care who it was, somebody slammed the Posy Taco. How many of you who have been here for this get anxious as fuck when somebody hits the Posy Talk? Be honest. Give me a 1 in chat if a Posy Talk makes you absolutely anxious as fuck. Sweats profusely. I run. Yeah, not it. Right? All of the ones. All of the ones. Not gonna you're late anyway. Oh, you've never experienced one. I mean, that's fair. I'm always safe, so no worries. Unless I decide to do a barrage, and then I just start naming people. Where's that button? Is there a thingy? There's not a thingy. I hate that. Makes me sad. Oh well. I love Posy Taco. Poor Jay.
Emotional damage.
Batteries at 1%, gotta go. I wonder who's watching. Call me out. Well, a lot of times there will be people that are in the community that are putting in suggestions for other people. you know, and they'll write up a whole thing about it. I wish I had my weekly homework from my therapist is naming my strengths and I'm struggling. Maybe that's something you and I can talk about. All right. So, for educational purposes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all my non-binary neurodivergent squirrels, it is time once again for a dopamine dedication, brought to you by Squirrel Squad. 'Cause Squirrel Squad for life, motherfucker. Exclamation merch. Sure, we'll do that. Here we go. Today's victim, today's example, today's person of interest I'm gonna pick is our good friend J13. Victim, yeah, that fits. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna pick on Jay. First, I want to welcome Jay back to streaming. If you, insert Paul Rubin. Don't hold your breath. I'd like to welcome Jay back to streaming. For those of you that do follow Jay's streams, he did take a little bit of a time off, which is fine. Remember, rule 0. Take care of yourself first. He was in a place he needed to step away from things. That's fine. That happens, right? Everybody goes through that. There are times when you need to take care of your mental health first. And in Jay's case, it was stepping away from the stream. He kind of isolated himself a bit, which is something that, with those of us who know Jay best, I use that loosely, but those of us who are closer to Jay know that that's how he tends to react to situations, is he tends to isolate himself. And there are some of us that will throw up a bit, I know, right? But we'll throw a poke at him every now and again just to make sure, you know, hey, you doing all right there, buddy? That kind of thing. And, you know, and yeah, he had some shit to go through, and I'm not gonna speak for him, but you know, I'm hoping that he's gone through the best of it. Jay has been a member of the community for like 4 some years now, and is just a fucking amazing human. I'm very proud to say that I've kind of mentored him a bit in the way of writing music. So Jay, of course, has songs that he has released on the internet through me. I actually release his music online. So if you haven't checked out Jay's stuff, there's that link there. Won't you stop it? 4.5 years. Wow. 4.5 years. That's crazy. That is crazy. Yeah. Jay is an OG. So there you go. Without hitting too much harder, I'll just leave it at that. Jay, you are one of our favorite people. You are the Demon Daddy. And we're all proud to know you. You are a fantastic human. We love you, and we're glad to see you back streaming. Mwah. There you go. That was a pretty heavily packed Pawsy Taco. But I'm not done. I am not done. Because a couple of people decided that they were going to get a little bit lippy. Go Daddy J. A couple people decided they were going to get a little bit lippy. All right, you lippy little bastards. Melty Mermaid, you're next on the list. Why do I pick you? No fuck, that's right. No fuck. We're doing this. Melty has been in and out of the community for a couple of years now. I have watched some of the ups and downs that they have gone through. I have, in recent months, Melty and I have talked behind the scenes and whatnot, and they are doing their best going through some of this shit. They are reaching out when they feel that help is needed, which is a good thing, right? If you feel like, and this goes for anybody, if you feel like you are 4 years from Melty, thanks, Shoes. But yeah, for anybody, if you're going through some shit, reach out to somebody, anybody. If it's somebody in the community here, if it's throwing me a DM, if it's your family, whoever, reach out to somebody. Melty was reaching out to me for a little bit, and that's cool. And I just talked to my cat. There you go. But I'm proud of your progress. I'm proud that things are, they seem like they are coming together, even though we talked about your job thing the other night, and that's kind of stupid, but we're not going to go there. Anyway, regardless, Melty Mermaid, I'm proud of you for the progress you have made, for the direction you seem to be going. Keep going. Don't fucking stop. Cool? Cool. I joke, I kid. Rapid fire round. Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Who else do I feel like assaulting? Showing some love to? Let's see. Gothic runs. Sure. Go ahead, Jay. I mean, we are the same person, so have at it. Let me see here. Let me see here. I mean, I could do short bursts on just about everybody in here. But I'm going to wait on Jay, since we picked on Jay. Jay's going to speak for me here. How many? Since I said I was going to do a little short burst of Posy Tacos, how many of you now are feeling anxiety? Sometimes I feel like I mean, that's kind of silly. You and I have talked about that. We have talked about that. You absolutely do. Your brain is a goddamn liar. Jewel and V have both been massive pillars of support through my inner struggles. They did their best to pick me up. Love the pair of them. There you go. Through the fucking roof. Everything there. Things there. The trouble Posy Taco. That's fair. Do I know about those things? Was that thing we talked about this morning? It may lie, but damn it, don't. Oh, you're right. You are 100% right. Right? One of the biggest things that we have to learn in this community, and we have to remember, is that your brain is a liar. Alright, cool. You want to talk later? But that's one of the big things you need to remember. Your brain is an asshole. Your brain is a liar. And it talks shit, right? Constantly. I have a very special relationship with the voice in my head. We go through some fights, believe you me. I've been able to shut him up pretty well for the last, I don't know, couple of months. I would have to ask others. My brain's a fucking bitch. Oh yeah. No, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Sometimes the auto mod triggers. I mean, for Christ's sakes, the auto mod triggered over bread, right? Come on. So it's not an intentional thing. Your brain's a fucking bitch too. Yeah. No sorry needed, Melty. I love that one too. I don't know what the Automod's problem is today. Whatever. That's right, free the bread. That's how this came to be. Is that one day the Automod, it blocked bread and it blocked robot. Stupid. Absolutely. Show your love. This is where we need cat pictures. Yeah, kitty pictures. Bots we hit unhinged fuckers. That's right. That is right. But yeah, that's Calico. That's one of the first things we need to understand is that our brain lies. Our brain is an asshole, and the things that it says are not necessarily true, right? You are not the worst person in the room. You are not you are not an embarrassment. You are not worthless. You are not, list goes on and on and on. Free the bra. That's right. Free them tatas. And it's true. Pocket will eat it. But yeah, your brain's a liar. That's one of the first things that we have to understand. Is that your brain lies. Yeah, free the tatas. Your brain lies. It tells you bullshit. And anxiety, part of the anxiety is dealing with that. That's one of the things that with anxiety we have to deal with. Is that voice in the back of the head that, it tells you, free the bush. Oh my God. That is a throwback. But it ties in with things like imposter syndrome, right? Where you're afraid that you're not good enough to be doing the job that you're doing. You're not really autistic. You're just making it up and blah, 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 blah. All of this shit. You don't want to be in interviews. I feel that every fucking day. Every fucking day. My wife and I had a doctor's appointment this morning. So my wife came with me because I bring her along. She's my brain, essentially. She's the one who remembers all that shit because my memory is getting worse and worse and worse. Thank you, MS. I'd say I appreciate it, but I fucking don't. Anyway, so wife and I are coming back from the doctor's office, and we had a talk about something on this topic, right? I'm always an inconvenience, though, don't you know? No, that's just what your brain tells you. And your brain's a fucking liar. So, right? But yeah, Melty, my wife and I had to talk about this same thing. One of my biggest anxieties and biggest fears that I have is being a burden. Especially now that I have MS, or, I've had it for 25 fucking years, but allegedly. You're amongst friends. There you go. But yeah, like, one of the biggest fears that I had that drives my anxiety through the roof is the feeling of being a burden, being an inconvenience, right? Now that I have MS, or now that it's progressed as far as it has, I can't go to the mall and walk with the family, right? I have a wheelchair now, for fuck's sake, and that's something brand new. And while it is something that we got to help, it's a tool to help me when we're out and about, it is still something that gives me incredible anxiety because I feel like a burden for having to bring that fucking chair with me, right, when we go out. For, at this point, having to have somebody push me, right? I feel like a burden. I'm told that's not true. But does that stop the voice right here from telling me that? From the minute I get up until the minute I pass out? No, sure doesn't. So, reminder to everybody here. You are not alone. When you have those thoughts, those feelings, you are not alone. Reach Out. Because you're not alone. I feel the exact same thing. I just tend to mask it a little bit better, I guess. It's at that point, Jay, yeah, actually it is riding because I'm not driving because somebody else is pushing. So yeah, I am riding dirty. Me not needing a shower. It makes me feel I don't think I can decipher that. But Mama needs a shower. Anyway. We've established Mama needs a shower. Because you're a dirty girl. I can see it naked. I mean, there's that. Dirty though, if your wheels don't move. Not good for anybody. I mean, nah, yeah, no. Sure about it is. Gotcha, thank you. Shower with our holy water. Oh my god. I'm gonna keep that to myself. I wrote a very dirty song, and holy water is a reference in it. That's all I'm gonna say about it. Anywho. Oh boy. Are we feeling a little more chilled? Trying to lighten the mood. Oh, hey, have at it. Have at it. I mean, everybody. I noticed everybody is trying. Perfect. That's why I asked, how is everybody feeling? A little better after the whole anxiety thing? Are we feeling a little more something reason I was banned on YouTube? Yeah. Yep. I got away with it on Suno. Feeling mellow? Perfect. Calmer, definitely. Excellent. No worse than I was before. I mean, that's a plus, I suppose. What is your fucking obsession with laundry? Calm down, bot. I mean, Jules not even here. Anyway. Here's a quick off-the-cuff question. It's been a little bit. Anybody feel like it's almost time for a summer, a say goodbye to summer rave? Maybe? You need to drink that holy water then. I'm keeping my lips together on that one, man. I cannot say anything about that because it did. Yeah. Anyway, hey, how about a rave? Anybody? The bot can't come. Autumn's here. I don't care what anybody says. I mean, it's true. It's true. The leaves starting to turn yellow already. Oh, no. Trust me, Kara. I've actually got a better idea. I have got a much better idea for the rave. For the next rave, I told myself I've got a much better idea for it. Some. That's a little too far, Jay. I was actually thinking an afternoon rave. You and me both. Will hiding in the shadows. Hope you know it. Yeah, after party, yeah. Of course it'd work for you. A breakfast rave for you? Yeah. Afternoon rave, yeah. Breakfast rave sounds delicious. We're rebels, aren't we? Afternoon rave. I mean, when was the last time, smartass, that you actually stayed up for the entire rave. Knowing full well that we start at 9 o'clock Mountain and typically go until 3 or 4 in the morning Mountain Time. When was the last time you stayed up for an entire rave? So I think an afternoon rave might benefit a few other people. I don't know, you're on Eastern Time? So yeah, we're talking like, I don't know, 2, 3 in the afternoon, Eastern Time, maybe. Something like that. To be fair, I shouldn't have stayed up for the entire rave. Unless you were talking to me, in which case, yeah, I know. Yeah, I kind of figured. If I could smoke myself in Nova Scotia, I'd be on an Atlantic time. I mean, can you set something up with Poet? Pocket. Sorry, Poet. I did it again. Can we pick a day that I'm not working? Well, first things first. I think we need a little incentive. Now I'm going to be that guy. I think we need a little bit of incentive to get a rave. I think. No, I know Pocket isn't Nova Scotia. Pocket's PEI, but Pocket's closest. I promise not. You don't fucking annoy people. Settle down. We've talked about this. I would say calm your tits, but if we're talking about rave, you gotta keep one tit out. That's your party tit. Sorry, that was an old joke and dumb. Anyway. Yeah, I think that we will, we'll come up with a little incentive. And, yeah, then once we get a little incentive, then we will pick a day. And Jay and I will have a chat and figure out what day he's not working. Catch you all later. Mom's waiting for you to call. All right, Calco, thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you. We'll catch you in the server. Only one of them. Yeah, technically it's just one. One's your party tit. If you leave it out too long, it'll be a blue tit. I'm still saying. Yeah, this is a conversation piece now. I guess it is. We're canonizing this. That's right. Canon tits. Oh, my Falcon. Are blue tits like blue balls? Probably not. Tits are for kids. It's me, I'm a kid. Something about blue milk. I mean, Luke never said no to blue milk. Star Wars, not demon milk. Yep. Alright. Here is what I'm thinking. Bear with me. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do. Boom. There we go. We fill up this bar, we rave. That's the incentive. We fill this bar up, we rave. On a Saturday afternoon, when Jay is not working. Thank you, Dan. We'll make sure it's a day that Jay is not working, because Jay works too much. Jay works a lot. A lot. But that's what we'll do. All right. Demon in a teacup. Scream up pocket. Hey, if you can't, that's great. If you can, even better. But if you can't, don't break yourself. That's like my number one rule when it comes to that, right? Make sure that your shit is in order first. Don't worry about me. Make sure that you can cover you before you even think about me. All right? Hey, thank you, sir. And I've always said that from the very beginning. Worry about you first. Then if you want to think about me, great. If you don't, great. You're not breaking my heart. I'm just saying, if you can and you feel like it, wicked. Show your loaf. There you go. Don't steal Pocket's money. I mean, I think all of Pocket's money right now is kind of tied up in stuff. That's what I think. Coffee. You got a DM. Ah, we're sending more Posy tacos around, are we? Pocket money is the shit. That's right. Can we show our loaf of the rave? You mean your cat? Your cat loaf? Because if that's what you're talking about, hell yeah. Boom, 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 boom. Sorry, don't mind me. Actual feline, not the other cat. I mean, only Dirty Mama would think of that, or not. Pulls out the finger, or pulls the finger out. Which was it, Dan? Well, hopefully everybody is feeling a little better, a little more mellow. We get our little wind down. Remember that the aftercare stream tonight. Would somebody care to give the man a shout out? Aftercare stream tonight with J13 in what? Little under 2 hours? Am I right? I do believe a little under 2 hours. Little over an hour. Oh, well, look at me. I can't fucking count. You sound asleep, sadly. That's all right. That's okay. Remember, rule 0, take care of you first. Always. All right. Well, hopefully today was informative. Remember, if you the VOD will be here on Twitch for 2 weeks. It will be permanent up on YouTube though. So if you were late and wanted to catch up on anything that was covered today, make sure you go there. Check it out on YouTube. Yeah, that's right. No stream is mandatory attendance. Not mine either. Right? If I wouldn't miss this VOD. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. Well, prepare yourselves for next week. Next Wednesday, by request, we are covering depression, ADHD, autism, and depression. Remember, if you guys have other requests that you want me to cover, make sure you either DM me or put it in that channel. Find the VOD for the last one. It'll still be up on Twitch for another week. But yeah, make sure you get it in the thing. You know what I mean. Anyway, all right, we done gonna get the fuck out of here. Thank you all for hanging. I appreciate all of you. Mwah. Make sure you drink your water, take your meds, and be kind to yourself. Don't make me name names. Whoa. Fucker. Drink your water. Take your meds. Be kind to yourself. I will see you guys here on Friday. I don't work Friday. Hey. So that's what we're gonna do. As I hit the button, we're gonna raid into Moonlight Tree. Another one of our beautiful community kids. So make sure you blow up their chat. Looks like they're just playing some silly games. Blow up their chat. Let them know they're appreciated. And I will see you guys on Friday. Until then, mwah. Ciao for ciao. Wow, English is not my first language apparently.